Every fiber in Arturis's being wanted him to sprint out of that room as fast as possible. But instead, the craven little man hesitated. "Oh, thank you, Nathan, sire, but there is one tiny other thing." "Name it." "No matter how hard I try to spread the lies about Duke Godricson, it won't do much good, I'm afraid. Sure, the poor and common folk will believe whatever I say, but the king's Calandrian court will do a bit of research and know that it's a falsehood. Such rumors may bother the Duke, but they won't get rid of him." "Worry not, Arturis. I don't expect you to single-handedly silence the Duke with your vile tongue. I simply wish to put pressure on him and distract his house for the moment. Perhaps then I'll have the time I need to prepare to face him myself. Do your best to spread the lie, and I will not have a reason to punish you." With Nathan's guarantee, Arturis sighed, utterly relieved. Already, Nathan had proved himself to be a more capable and understanding master than Lord Raven had been. Arturis made up his mind to follow Nathan faithfully. After all, to do otherwise could be a lethal mistake. Arturis shook his head at the confident young boy before him. "What a joke this all is. The boy before me isn't even 15 years old yet, but he fights and talks as if he were a wise veteran warrior. His strength has already surpassed even the high lords of this land, and looks to only rise with time. His future potential must be limitless. I better ride his coattails as best I can, even if it means spreading dirty lies about the Duke across the fiefdom." "Thank you, young Master Nathan. I understand what you desire. I will be your faithful servant forevermore." Arturis hurriedly scurried out of the basement room and raced up towards the crypt steps. Nathan sighed as he chuckled with one of his guards. He was certain now that he would have no trouble from Duke Godricson for a while at least. Such vile rumors were not easy to quell, and the more one protested, the more one looked guilty in the public's eye. While the Duke would be forced to retreat from the public eye, Nathan would spend the time training and preparing for a showdown, if such a thing were necessary. After all, the news of House Hayfield's victory would be sure to put a drop of fear in every noble's throat. Still, the threat of conflict would not leave his mind. After all, Sir Ian's scorning of Bella Godricson in favor of Amelia would continue to be a contentious issue that could only fester over time. Ultimately, Nathan knew he would likely have to face the Duke himself. Although he was still below Duke Godricson's spiritual fighting master level, he was close enough that he felt confident he could take him on. After all, he had access to the divine spells of the power of Asura, and knew that his rare magical abilities would give him an edge in the fighting. As Nathan left the root cellar, he heard Lord Ulrich's voice booming out commands throughout the grounds of the Hayfield manor. The matter of rebuilding the grand old building and the rest of the town was something Nathan had no skills in. As he went back up to the main floor of the manor, Nathan decided he'd like to rest a moment, and for the first time since the night before the aristocracy examination, he slept for several hours. "Nathan! Nathan! Wake up!" Slowly, Nathan's eyes opened on his sister Amelia standing over him with a look of concern. "Are you all right, little brother? Where does it hurt? You're covered in dried blood." "Oh, don't worry, sis. None of this is mine. I feel great now that I've rested." As Nathan sat up, he realized that he'd fallen asleep beside a tree on the edge of town. He then realized that Amelia preceded a squadron of House Lightstone warriors who marched confidently into Dunshire. The High Lord Lightstone, his wife Cecilia, and Sir Ian rode up to him on horseback. They had accompanied Amelia back into town after she'd learned of the attack. They had brought a few warriors with them in case House Raven had been victorious, but now that they approached the scene, the High Lord commanded his men to help with the rebuilding effort. Amelia frowned at the wreckage as she helped her brother up. "What happened here, little brother? Is father all right?" "We fought them all off, and House Raven is no more. Father is okay, but his left eye has gone cloudy from an axe wound. He's just inside the manor now. I told him you might see to it." Amelia nodded, then marched off with a smaller contingent of House Lightstone healers. "All of you, come follow me. We'll set up a healing post just outside of my father's manor. I must see to his injuries at once." Nathan then turned to the Lightstones and nodded at their show of force. "I thank you all for coming to our aid. It is much appreciated." Sir Ian smiled at his friend. "It seems you had things under control, but I'm glad that we could be of some assistance." Nathan frowned as Lady Cecilia fought off a bout of coughing and slowly caught her breath. "I see the good Lady Lightstone is up on her feet again, if still somewhat plagued by her curse. Come over to my sister's healing camp in a minute, and I will treat you for it once again." Lady Cecilia nodded her head weakly. "I thank you, Nathan. Your kindness is well noted, and should be praised as much as your tenacity in a battle." Nathan made good on his promise to attend to Lady Cecilia's curse that afternoon. For the rest of the following week, Nathan would regularly work on exorcising the curse from the good Lady Lightstone's body. Over the same period of time, the High Lord Lightstone bonded with Ulrich as they worked together with their warriors to rebuild the pillaged town. During those days, Sir Ian and Amelia continued their courtship, and were often spotted in the many flower meadows on the outskirts of town. This was usually in the evenings, after a long day spent healing the wounded from the battle. Eventually, Lord Ulrich's cloudy eye regained some sight again, thanks to his daughter's treatment, and then Amelia was freed up to help her brother with Lady Cecilia's problem. After another week had passed, the siblings worked together to concoct a medicinal elixir for her to consume that would continue fighting off the curse that plagued her. The effect was extremely powerful, and within 3 days of taking it, Lady Cecilia's childhood curse, the one that had tortured her for decades, was finally lifted. Within the month, Ravenswood, the small city that had been under the tyrannical control of House Raven, was liberated and proudly raised the House Hayfield sigil above its walls. All of this was due to Nathan's victory in the aristocracy examination, so nobody questioned it when the Hayfield family moved into the small stone palace in the center of the city. They had no desire to live there full-time, but while renovations were done to their ancestral manor, they decided to make themselves at home in their enemies' old quarters. The stone palace boasted a large great hall where they feasted together with their new subjects and with House Lightstone. On top of this, they invited all of the refugees whose small villages had been raised by House Raven to join the party as well. Soon, many of the homeless villagers who'd fled the tyranny of House Raven began to leave Godricson and return to their homeland near Ravenswood. The people of the small city welcomed both their former citizens and the Hayfields with open arms. After all, the city had not thrived under the Raven's rule. The High Lord Raven preferred instead to live in Godricson, where he had influence over the Duke. He had rarely traveled to his lands, and when he did, was only to extract and extort as much money as he could find. For the first time in centuries, the city folk of Ravenswood felt comfortable trading openly without fear of having their goods stolen from them, and the lands began to thrive.
Wait, that's not the end. You've just had a free taste. Now get the full story on the Pocket FM app, link in description. Check out our next video and playlist, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.